How y'all doing? I'm sitting here with K-Rose from San Jose. How you doing, K-Rose?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm doing great. It's funny because this I know we were supposed to do this past weekend, and then whatever happened, and we were able to do it now. But when you told me, yeah, I'm gonna come at 8:30. For those people who don't know, it's like 8:30 p.m. right now. You work tomorrow, right? But you said, you know what? I still work. I'm gonna come from all the way from San Jose, and that told me. Like that right there, K-Rose, told me that this podcast was going to be great because that already tells me your mindset and how much you're willing to, pay the price to get, as far as you can with this whole music thing.
Yep, hell
right?
yeah. I was telling my coworker today, I was like, damn, it's going to be a long-ass day today, but, you got to do what you got to do. I recently teamed up with GT Digital and something that Goldtoes, the VP, something that he always says, it's 10% talent, 90% like work ethic. So, I mean, got to learn something from that. Yes,
for sure. And I feel that 100% because I'm in the same boat as you right now. Because what do you do for work right now?
So I do human resources.
Okay.
So that's currently what I do. Don't want to give too much details about my company.
No, for sure. But you do deal with people and stuff like that. That's cool though, because no matter what industry you hop into, it's like you said, it's like there's a certain percentage, that you got to focus on in order to make it big. And I think that's the percentage you want to throw in there of being able to like network, communicate, and like, people skills, which is super dope. Yeah. But yeah, what time do you usually wake up for work? Because I'm sure it's pretty early. It's not.
Yeah, so 8 o'clock. Yeah, but get up. Got a little routine and whatnot. But yeah, 8. Luckily, my employer is super flexible.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm a salary employee, so I have a lot of flexibility. I don't necessarily have like a set time.
Okay.
But I want to keep it kind of consistent and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that because right now, like I said, I'm in the same boat as you, where I'm working as a delivery driver. But I kid you not, K-Rose, as I'm working every single day, I'm listening to a podcast. I'm listening to like an audiobook, something that like helped me grow.
Right.
So you being able to have that flexibility, yes or no, does it like help you a ton when it comes to this music thing? Because you never know what can pop up. You have like other plans and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this job is a blessing because my last position, same thing. I've been doing HR for years, but that was like hourly. There was no flexibility. Wow. It was like very set in stone. So with this job, it's a blessing. They're super flexible. So, they know that I do this and, I tell them about trips or upcoming events that I have coming up and they're super flexible. So it gives me the opportunity to focus like on events and stuff like that. But as far as like composing, it's still it's hard to juggle that aspect and like getting in the studio and actually fully like executing things the way that I want to do it. So, but it's a balance, a give and take.
Yeah, that's super dope. And the reason why I bring that up is because most people watching this right now, they probably have a job. They probably have a job. They're in between the ages of 18 and maybe 30, and they're trying to maybe get out of the situation. I think we're in the same boat as that.
Right, exactly.
So I think right now, like by the time this podcast ends in like the next 50 minutes, our job, K-Rose, is to make sure that we give them enough value to be able to get something from this podcast and be like, you know what, I'm going to use what K-Rose said, and now she inspired me, and I'm going to go implement this in my own life.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think it's more than just, you being the artist, me being the, this podcast or whatever you want to call it. It's like that when you're able to inspire somebody to do something different in their life, like that is what I believe life is all about. Like there's no price to that.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, basically going back to what I was saying was like you said, did you switch that position just so you can have the flexibility?
No, I made the decision because I felt like what I was bringing to the table, I guess, wasn't being valued necessarily.
I see.
I had great relationships with certain individuals, but I just felt like the company wasn't necessarily valuing me at the time. And it was during the pandemic that I had made the decision, so I felt like it's something that I had delayed for a long time. Going back to like stepping out of your comfort zone, I was too comfortable there. So I was like, you know what, I gotta do this. And it just so happened to work perfectly with what I'm trying to do right now musically. So,
and that's super dope because everything is definitely aligns with each other, especially when you like put the intention and in the back of your subconscious mind, like you're telling yourself, I want it this way, everything's gonna fall into place.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying because I work at a pharmacy. Or not really a pharmacy. I deliver to pharmacies, and I kid you not, K-Rose, I delivered I think Monday or Tuesday, and I delivered, and the pharmacist like. She is super stressed out. She's like, man, I can't wait to quit my job. Like, are you guys hiring? And I was like, you don't want to work here. You don't want to work as a delivery driver. Like, you get underpaid. And she was like, she said something so important to me that I was like, wow. She said, yeah, but it doesn't look like you're as stressed as me. And that told me, wow, like at the end of the day, what people want is a quality of life.
Yeah. Work home balance.
Exactly. And I see her every single day, bro. She is so stressed out. And I'm like, wow, like they cannot pay me enough to be in your position. Just because like that peace of mind that everyone like searches for.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's so important. That the reason why I bring that up is because it's so important that you were able to do that for yourself and be like, wow, like, you know, I'm more than this, than just being at this job. I don't know if you were in a cubicle or not or whatever it was, but you said, you know what, I'm more than this. I need to go pursue my dreams, my goals. And I respect so many people like that.
Yeah.
I respect them a ton.
You got to take those risks in life, you know, and once again, going back to the comfort zone, like if you're comfortable, you're not doing enough, and you need to make yourself a little bit more uncomfortable and, you know, step out of your usual box. I
like that. And it's so cool that you bring that up, because in your industry, being a singer, I see it more often than not that even if you have the talent, even if, you know, you're really good at what you do and you really love it, the number one thing holding people back, yes or no, is that confidence and being able to be outside their comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I feel like, you know, off camera, we were talking about like how long I've been doing this. And I feel like the reason why maybe I wasn't able to reach a certain level earlier was kind of that. I didn't have the confidence in myself and in my ability and what I brought to the table as an artist, you know. I have this conversation with my boyfriend sometimes. Like before, I felt like I had to be at the same level as like Mariah Carey, Beyonce, and that's so unrealistic of me to think, you know. They're their own individuals and I'm my own individual. I have my own voice, and I feel like when I finally accepted my voice, like this is my voice. I'm never gonna be able to hit those Mariah Carey notes, but there's other things that I bring to the table. Charisma, you know, that ability to like connect with the audience, even though I'm not hitting those, you know, crazy ass notes, the melody and whatnot. So yeah.
No, yeah, and I respect that. I respect that, because you were still able to like learn from them. You were still able to say, you know what, I admire these people, you know, these women, because they were able to make it this far. But you're able to really look back and say, you know what, I provide this that no one else can, and that's my edge. That's like my chip on my shoulder.
Right. I think that's the real power. Like in whatever you're doing, not even just being an artist. Like once you accept your craft or whatever it is that you're doing, or you know, provide to the world, that's when you really find your power. Like, all right, like I'm comfortable with what my voice is, or whatever it is that you're doing, you know, and what other people say is not really gonna phase you, because you're like, you know, I know what's up, you know. So
yeah, that's so dope. That's so dope. So you say you started before, like you said, we were talking a little bit about off camera, but you say you started singing when you were 16 years old?
Well, I mean, singing is something that I always did, you know, like
since you're a baby.
in my room, you know, watching Selena and movies,
Selena.
You know, hell yeah,
wow, that's super dope.
Yeah, big inspiration.
Wow.
You know, singing around the house to myself, you know, stuff like that. But I never had the confidence to actually like, hey, I'm a singer, come listen to me, you know, me sing or whatever. So I would write my own songs and stuff when I was a kid, but I was way too shy to like show anybody.
Wow.
And my girls is honestly the ones that really brought it out of me. One day we were just kicking it and I showed them one of the songs and they were like, dude, this is so dope. And I was like, really?
Wow.
So that gave me the encouragement to like start showing other people, and then it just kind of, you know, like a snowball effect. But I didn't actually start. The first time I recorded, I was 16, and then, you know, from there I just kept going, but didn't actually take it serious until I was about like 19.
And what made you take it seriously?
I mean, you know, at the time in my life, I was going through kind of like rough stage in my life. I was still trying to figure out like who I was or what I wanted to do. And me and my dad didn't have the best like living situation at the moment, but I don't know, something in me was just like, you know what, like I really want to do this, and I'm going to do it. So
that passion, that vision like grew and came out of that adversity that you and your family had we're going through at the time.
Yeah.
And the reason why I bring that up is because I believe that 100,000% K-Rose. I really do, because like literally last year, you know how on Instagram you can go to like your archives and stories and stuff like that. I was looking through my stuff and I was like, wow, this was me a year ago. Like it doesn't even feel like it was, you know, that like it doesn't feel like it was that long, but it was just such a different version of me.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm bringing that up was because I was going through so much adversity. I had just got out of like a badass breakup. Like I was, you know, I could truly say I was, you know, in the stage where I was a bit depressed. Like I was like super overweight. Like it was just like a bunch of things that I wasn't happy with myself. But in that adversity, there was a monster that was created that now I'm able to look back and be like, damn, I am so grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. There's points in your life where you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But, you know, once you overcome that, you look back and you're like, okay, God, I get it now.
Yeah.
You know, like,
you said, okay,
right.
God.
Yeah.
And I love that. No, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because, yes, it's so true. Because faith is the substance of believing something when you don't see it, right? And I think that's the number one thing in God. If you believe in God, you have to have faith.
Yeah.
And if you look at life the same way, like, you know, you have to look at life the same way, and that'll help you get out of that situation.
Right, yeah. I feel like everybody, you know, not to get too deep into that, but I feel like everybody has their own, you know, version of what God is to them. Mine is more of like a universal, you know, like type of like spirit consciousness, you know, something like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like you said, not to tap too much into it, but let's tap into it because I know it's a very hot topic.
Yeah.
So basically, I believe in the same way because a lot of people, they see God as like this man in the sky. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's that. You know what I'm saying? I think God, like you said, everyone kind of has their own version, but at the end of the day, it's a higher power.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That you can look up to, follow certain principles. There's certain laws, and then your life will be better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, I don't know if it's exactly what's like illustrated in a book or whatever stories are told, but I do believe it's some sort of higher power. I don't know if it's human form or a man or whatever it may be, but you know, I know there's something out there.
I feel you 100%. I feel you. But yeah, so basically you said you started taking it seriously into 19. What does taking it seriously mean? Like, were you in the studio a lot? Were you doing shows? Like, what were you doing?
So like prior to that, a lot of the music that I did, or all of the music that I did, was all like features. So it was like other artists reaching out to me, hey, I want to get you on this song. And I've always written my own lyrics, but I kind of had to follow certain concepts, you know, like, you know, this is what I envision for the song. This is what, you know, the kind of direction that we want to go to or in. And at that point, I kind of just decided, like, I want to start doing what I want to do and, like, talk about what I want to talk about, or pick the topics or pick the beats and, you know, kind of have more control of, like, what I'm putting out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I don't know. I just sat down and I was like, all right, how am I going to make this happen? Okay, I need to find a studio. I need to find an engineer. I need to figure out how to get beats and start writing. And that's kind of just what I did. I just kind of like little steps here and there, connected with some dude that was recording out of his room down the street from my cousin's house. And I would take the bus there and just record and and then it just kind of started taking off from there little by little. It was a very slow, consistent kind of climb. It wasn't like I ever like, whoop, you know, like, oh my gosh, day to night type of thing. So, I kind of just kept pushing and connecting and networking with bigger artists in San Jose and, you know, throughout the Bay Area, and kind of tried to maintain like a social media presence and whatnot. And and then it kind of just, you know, kept going, and now I'm here. No,
that's super dope. And yeah, we're behind you, K-Rose, because I like that. Like I love underdog stories. I love, like you said, that passion, that vision like grew out of nothing. It's like a phoenix, you know, you rose from the ashes. But yeah, no, that's super dope. So then you decided to do your own thing. And it's funny because I have an aunt, man, and I hope she watches this, because I really love her, and I really tell her like to pursue that side of her, because ever since she was little, just like you, she was singing at parties. So many people would want her to sing, but it was just something that, you know, kind of keeps her from going online, recording herself, and actually showing to the world what she has to offer.
Right.
So what like tips would you give somebody that would be in that position?
Let me think back to myself. I mean, you just gotta, I would start with like posting videos, right? Because that's a little less intense, like having people in your face.
Okay,
you know?
like videos of you singing.
Right, like, you know, maybe start like that, or somebody that you really trust, like your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever it may be, you know, kind of like what I did with my friends, like showing them those songs, and the encouragement that you'll get from those little things that you do are going to empower you to finally reach a bigger audience in person or something like that. But I would definitely say just like consistency, find your power, you know, take charge of that. Okay.
And what if even from the get-go, like I cannot record because I don't want people to judge me? Like, what about like, let's get on a deeper level in that sense. Cause when you sing, when you're up on that stage, or when you drop a song or whatever it is, like, are you even worried about the people that are going to talk shit? Because the one thing I realized is no matter what you do, the higher you get, you start collecting haters as much as you start collecting supporters.
I think, honestly, if we're getting like deep into it like that, you really got to go back to the beginning of like, why are you actually doing this? Are you doing this because it's a genuine passion of yours and you're like zoned out when you're doing this and it just feels good? Or are you doing it for clout? Are you doing it for materialistic things? Like, because if you're doing it, if you're trying to be a rapper because you want to be cool, and you're going up on stage and you're just worried about looking cool, you're never gonna be sincere about the performance or the connection, because you're not doing it for the right reasons. Honestly, that's kind of what I believe. Like, if you're doing it from a sincere place and it's something that you genuinely enjoy, that's what you're gonna be focused on. Right. And I mean, people are gonna judge regardless, you know. Sure. But to me, the biggest thing is like, you could judge me all you want, but what I really take to heart is like the judgment that's passed on my craft, you know. So that's kind of like what you need to focus on. Like, center your attention on how you become a better artist. Feedback, you know. There's a difference between somebody just being a hater and just trying to troll you. Yeah, that's true. And somebody that actually has a point. It's happened with me before, you know. There's instances where I've, you know, kind of gone back and forth, and later on I reflected and I was like, damn, she was right. You know, about little certain things, the delivery may have not been there, you know, like there was a time where I kind of went a little quiet and wasn't really dropping anything, and somebody called me out on it and they were like, well, you haven't dropped anything. And I was like, all right, okay, keeping you accountable. I was like, okay, well, you know, I can't be mad at that. But yeah, I kind of as far as like your original question, I think it goes back to like your intent and why you're doing what you're doing. Yeah, no, I like that a ton, because like you said, if, you know, and I think that when you really do something that you really want to do, it doesn't matter who's there and who isn't. If the person that, you know, you love the most supports you or they don't, like, you understand that there's only one goal in mind, and that goal is to pursue what you have to do and get to that end goal. Yep, right? Exactly. Yeah, and I like that a ton, because a lot of people, too often I see some people try something and the first like bad feedback that they get, maybe it's not for me, or maybe I'm not good at this. Oh my God, I got so much of that. Like, even to this day, some of my best friends, they clown the shit out of me with like the first songs that I ever, you know, really actually dropped. Now, you know, comparing it to what I do now, but hell yeah, you're gonna get people that are gonna be like, nah, that ain't for you, or what are you doing, or, you know, whatever. But if you're consistent with it, your craft is definitely gonna be better. When I listen back to my original songs, I'm like, damn, I really thought that sounded good. But, you know, I was like, I'm doing this, you know, like, hell yeah. I'm out here. But, you know, with time, you know, I got better and better. So, yeah. Yes. And I love that you said that, because I'll be doing the same thing with this podcast, where literally like once a week I'll go look at my very first episode, just to like, because I think we can get too caught up in the moment. So I totally believe in just being in the moment. But I think we can get too caught up to where it's like we want a lot more, but then we don't realize how far we came, right? And I think it's important to keep yourself grounded that way, where it's like I constantly look at that first video and then I'm like, you know what, Sam, you made a lot of progress. Like, yeah, you're not where you want to be. Yeah, you don't have like the perfect equipment, perfect studio, whatever, you know, but you came a long way. And the only reason why I'm saying that, the reason why it's important to do that is because you're able to show yourself that if you dedicate your mind, you know, to something, let's say just for 90 days, like give yourself a 90-day goal. In 90 days, I'm going to give this all I got. And if I don't see any progress, then, okay, I'm able to give up now. Yeah. But it's until you really put in those hours, because what people don't understand is like when you do something, anything that you do, you're going to face adversity. Like anything that you do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think as long as people understand that it's just like it's just a work in progress, and then once you get there, you're able to look back. It's like when you're climbing it's like when you're hiking, right? You're like, damn, this big ass hill, fuck. Hold on, I don't know if I can get there. Hold on. And then you drop your wallet or something, and then you look back, you're like, hold on, I came this far. Like, yeah, I got to go up there. Still. Exactly. Yeah, like, I'm over here. Like, yeah, I'm able to, you know, but I fucking came all the way down there, so I might as well just go up. Yeah. So, that's a really good analogy. Very, very good analogy. Like, I'm not going back all the way up down there to try to start all over again. Yeah, you're like fucking mad at the hill. Like, dude, I did not do all this shit for nothing. Like, might as well finish it. Yeah. Exactly. And that's super dope, though. That's super dope. So now, where are you at right now? Like, you know, what is your biggest move that's coming up right now? So, just this year, like I kind of mentioned, I signed with GT Digital. Gold Toes is the one that kind of runs that company. But that was a really big step for me because prior to that, everything was like done independently. It still kind of is. It's more like of a partnership in terms of like my digital distribution. But you know, like I have my own rep that I talk to daily that assists me with like having to upload like my music and stuff. It just kind of takes a little load off of like having to do everything myself and have my hands in everything and focus on the music and stuff like that. So in 2019, end of 2019, I dropped my first mixtape. Now what I'm working on is an album. I guess it would be like my debut album.
Okay.
The mixtape it wasn't so formal or official, I guess you could say. But with this album, I want everything to be very like exclusive beats, everything like original and whatnot. So I'm working on that. And then, you know, ever since I linked up with Gold Toes, he's, you know, kind of lining me up with more opportunities. In September, I'm going out to LA for a cypher with like a few other Bay Area artists that are pretty big. I don't want to say too much, but yeah. And then, their headquarters is out in Texas, so I'm gonna be heading out that way as well. Just to hit their studio and, you know, network with some of the artists that they have over there. So kind of trying to do a little bit more and reach like a bigger platform. But
and I think that's what it's about. Like you said, you're gonna go down there and then you're gonna have a bunch of people. You're probably gonna make a song with one of them, and that's really what it takes. It takes that one song, like
literally.
You know what I'm saying? It takes that one song, then everybody and their mamas know you, and then now everyone wants to do a song with you, and it's game over.
Yep, literally.
So as long as you like keep working at it, I see. You know what I'm saying? Like, so because you said you model your game, your music after Selena, right? Or that's who like originally inspired you,
right? Like I don't know about necessarily like modeling it directly after her, but she was definitely like an inspiration to me. Like just as a kid, seeing a girl on stage and like the impact that she was able to have, that's what really like got me like, dang, you know.
And that makes it and that's even bigger. That's even bigger because she inspired you as a person. Like you to yourself, man, I want to be this public figure, this person for the community, this person, and I like that. But it goes again to what you said earlier. So you're basically, I'm sorry for saying it, because you're basically saying, no, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Right.
So what is your own thing? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's separating you from everyone else?
Well, I would like to think the fact that I'm just really raw about what I go through and the struggles that I face. Wow. I feel like there's a like big facade with social media personalities, with artists, just in general, with like this whole like, my life is perfect or, it's easy, or I do this shit in my sleep type of shit, but I just like to be honest about the fact that I work a 9 to 5, just like everybody else and everybody that's listening. Yes. I have my own struggles. I've been through some shit, but I would like to think that that's what it is, that's kind of what resonates with people and what sets me aside from other artists, like a lot of like mainstream music is like really watered down with like twerking and, a whole bunch of bullshit. So I just kind of want to bring everybody back down to earth. Like, no, there's real shit that's happening in the world, and, this shit's real, know? So that's what I would like to think.
No, and you know what? I think the artists that do that are like highly more appreciated. Because, like, when it comes to, like, people like that, like, for example, it kind of depends because, I think, the style of music you listen to obviously depends on, like, your age and, like, where you're from and stuff like that. But I think a lot of universal artists that a lot of people might know, and the first one that comes to mind is kind of like Tupac. Like, Tupac, he was super real. And I think that's why people fucked with him as much as they did, and that's why he became a legend. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think, I don't know if you heard of Polo G. Yeah. Polo G, and he calls himself like, and in one of his songs he says they call him the new Tupac or whatever. Yeah. Because he's the same way, and that's who I listen to a ton because of that reason. Like I said, you respect a lot of artists. Yeah. Like you said, most artists nowadays are talking about like, twerking, drugs, ass, all that shit. But I think, the artists are really appreciated, because I don't know about you, but I feel like there were certain stages in my life, maybe not recently, but there was a certain stage where like a certain artist or certain music or album like literally got you out of a like situation. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And and like I said, those type of albums and artists are much more respected and you know, it's just life change. You can literally change someone's life through your music. And is that like the approach you want to take?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Like when people listen, the type of music that I like to listen to is like storytellers, you know, that tell a story.
Yeah.
That type of shit really like catches my attention. And if you can do it in a slick way with like your wordplay, then that's when you really got me. Yeah. So that's kind of what I want to do. Like when you listen to my songs, of course I'm going to have those feel good ones that you're just going to have fun to, or, you know, whatever it is. But my goal, like when you listen to my music, I want you to sit back and be like, oh shit, like what did she just say? Like, you know, so that's really my goal, is like, I don't want to fill your ear with bullshit. Like I'm trying to like really talk about some real shit.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I feel you. And it's so crazy because even me and my girlfriend were in the car today, and she was showing me like dog videos. And the way my brain is wired now is just like yours. Was like everything on social media, I would say 90% of it is fucking fake. So literally she's showing me a dog video. She's like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I'm like, I don't really want to give you my opinion because the way I think is different. And she's like, no, what are you talking about? I was like, dude, that is not the same like dog. Like they just did that for the video. You know what I'm saying?
We were just watching TikTok videos yesterday. We're not really like, I mean, I have a TikTok, but you know, we're not like TikTokers.
I feel you.
So I didn't know that a lot of the filters, like you have to, like the one that's like, what celebrity do you look like? I didn't know that you had to like pick a photo of a celebrity that you thought you looked like. And I thought it was, but anyways,
right, that's crazy.
Anyways.
So they're making you choose it.
Right.
So if I say I want to look like fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I'm going to look like Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Well, I mean, it'll basically just it'll fade into a picture of him as if you guys.
I'm going to start doing that now. I'm going to start catfishing.
But yeah, there's a lot of shit on social media that's fake. But
literally so much. And I think that's why like, that was one of the main reasons why I started this, because in 26, 27 minutes that we've, you know, started this podcast, like you cannot script this. You know what I'm saying? And I think I get tired of going on social media, and me and Alex really were talking about like on some funny shit. We were talking about like starting this show where we like bring people and then we like expose them on like, you know, fake shit that they do on social media. And I was like, yeah, bro, but people try to fight us because people literally pride themselves on just doing fake shit on Instagram. Be careful with that. It was definitely just like a funny ass idea, but it was just so true because of that. Like the core of that idea was the fact that like so much on social media is fake, and I like, I'm not hating on it because I understand it. I understand it because people, they're seeing it as a business now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, exactly.
And I'm on that wave too. I know people, somebody, you know, some guy, you know, shout out to you, man. But he reached out to me. He's like, yeah, bro, I really fuck with how you're utilizing the social media game, and I know you commented on it earlier, and that's a big deal. So how big is social media for you?
Like in what aspect? Like how I utilize it?
That's a great question because that is a loaded question because there can be two parts. So yeah, how do you utilize it for yourself? Because the reason why I say that is because I literally follow and unfollow people based off of me trying to protect my energy, my thoughts, and all that stuff. Right. Like I literally, before, I haven't gone on in a minute, but I literally created a new Instagram. Really? So I scroll there. And literally, I didn't follow anyone. I just scroll there, but I follow people who I want to like be like. I follow celebrities. I follow like, you know, people that I just want to learn because I want to stay away from that bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, as far as that, like, you know, I follow a lot of artists that I personally know, have worked with, or that I listen to or inspire me or something like that, you know. But I mean, as far as like what I want to do with my platform, of course, the main purpose of that for me is like for music, you know, to network with other artists, to get my music out there, to get my face out there, you know, that type of stuff, you know, to interact with fans and stuff like that, promote shows or whatever projects it is that I'm working on. But also, you know, share posts or memes or, you know, funny shit that resonates with me or whatever, you know, but that's basically kind of the gist of that.
That's super dope. You said you have a rep, like an assistant helping you with that social media.
Yeah, well, not an assistant, but she's kind of like I mean, I guess, but I don't like to call her that.
Yeah, no, and I feel that because you're great. You're just a good person.
Yeah,
you're a good person. Where you don't even see her as that. Like her official professional term would be that. Yeah. But yeah,
she's very helpful and she works for the distribution company.
Let's just say that. Okay, yeah. Shout out to her for sure.
Yeah, shout out to Veronica.
yes, and that, like I said, I think that's super dope because my girlfriend, she actually sent me something today that said like the network of social media. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But it was basically the network of social media is like 10 billion, but in the next like couple years is gonna go up, and it's only gonna go up.
Wow.
Because like people who don't use social medias and cell phones, like respectfully, like those people are dying off. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy because I kind of thought about that. What I do in HR is like I actually hire. One of the positions that I'm hiring for right now, you have to be very tech savvy. And I was thinking about that. That's so weird that you said that. Not in a fucked up way, but it's true. Like we're gonna get to a point where like everybody's gonna be tech savvy because the older generation is gonna eventually gonna be gone. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. So it's like for example, my little brother, his generation, they don't understand what it's like to not have a phone.
Isn't that so weird?
That is so weird. Because I'm 21, and I can still remember times where we didn't have a phone. I remember when I had the little Game Boy.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm saying? But those kids, they don't he's like 10, 11 years old, but he doesn't understand there's no iPad and phone in my childhood.
Yeah.
And it's insane. It's scary.
It is. It's very weird. Or like kids don't really like to go outside anymore.
Yeah,
like that's where it was at.
literally. That's where it was at, because that's where like even if bad shit happened, even if you went outside, you fell, you freaking broke a finger or something, like that showed you something in life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like this little stuff like that really like, you know, you need. So to me, it's interesting. It's scary, but it's interesting. I think it's only scary because we don't know. Like, you know, we're always gonna be scared of the unknown. But it's crazy because those kids, like, who knows how they're gonna grow up? Like, we never seen that area, like.
And I feel like kids nowadays, they're like a little socially awkward.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because they're so like they only communicate through their phones or tablets online or whatever. Like we were out there with each other like constantly, like you know.
Had no choice.
Yeah, right? So it's just weird how like technology is changing humans and society.
Sure. For sure. Like even like if you go to, you know, like literally anywhere, like we're sitting with 3 people in this room right now, and we're not gonna expose it right now, but they all on their phones.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And, but that's just like what we're turning into. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like but it's just so crazy because it's so fucking powerful. Like, dude, even like movies and shows fucking 100 years ago, they thought like having flying cars was the shit. They never fucking thought that we were gonna have something accessible in our hands every single day. Yeah. That will literally like I can communicate with people in China type shit.
I remember when they would talk about like, oh, eventually there'll be like a feature that allows you to like video chat through phone. And that idea was like so crazy to me because I was used to like a house phone, and I was like, how the fuck are you gonna? And now
the
here
long
we
ass
are.
cord and shit.
Now here we are with FaceTime.
Yeah, and that's so true. And it's just like I heard something about like they're working on some like a physical touch. Like every time you get a like, it gives you like a little touch. And that is so scary.
Like a sensation?
Yes. It's fucking insane, bro. It's fucking insane just because like it like no like I don't know, like as human beings now, because I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes I feel like I try so hard to not get there, and I think I've gotten a lot better, but at one point it was super like I got so much dopamine by just seeing somebody like my picture.
Wow, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people, like as much as people don't want to admit it, like that's what it is.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
for sure.
Like, oh yeah, I got 300 likes. Hell yeah, I'm feeling good that day. What? I only got, and I'm only saying this because it's happened to me.
No,
like,
I try to not pay attention to that kind of stuff. Like with videos, like views and stuff like that, like it gets a little discouraging. Like, you know, when you're
for sure.
Like, damn, I only got that many views on YouTube or streams or whatever. But I try not to really pay attention to that and like disconnect from that. Even comments, honestly, like
that's true. On
videos, like music videos that we do, I try not to really read through that because I'm human.
Yeah.
If I read that one that really gets to me, you know, I'm gonna think about it for a minute and it's gonna fuck with me. So I'd rather not even.
I feel you. And honestly, I don't think I've gotten too much hate yet. I know it's coming. You know, it comes with everything. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's that. It's like, first of all, you know, I'm always very deep, but I try to see the root of that comment. Sammy, you fucking suck. Okay. Who in their fucking right mind has the time of day to go on YouTube, type Sammy, you fucking suck, and they feel good about themselves? Yeah. They just can't do that. So I got to think, like, I play chess. I'm like, oh, okay, well, they're probably going through some shit. I actually feel sorry for you because it's a person in the right mind who is actually happy with their life. They wouldn't take the time to go make that negative thought.
Yeah. Trolls, I mean, on social media in general, it kind of trips me out. Like, what went wrong in your life that
exactly you
want to sit there and talk so much shit to everybody?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I 100% agree, because it's like it's that like feelings, and it's basically a lot of trauma. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame them at all, because like trauma is such a big thing, and I don't think enough people talk about it. Like today, I heard something so deep, K Rose. They said, don't let your trauma teleport with you. So meaning like whatever happened to you as a kid, don't let that same trauma affect your decisions that you make today. But because in default it does. Like, you know, I was listening to this podcast about men, and I think, you know, I think that's one of the least talked, subjects, and very important things, because there's a bunch of like toxic masculinity, because it's just been a cycle for so many years. But basically, he said whatever, you know, he said he didn't have a father figure growing up, but he said, no, I didn't let that void, you know, that trauma carry into my life. And now he's like implementing it, because he's like a big mentor with kids. But yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. I definitely relate to that, because my mom really wasn't she wasn't involved in my life at all.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I had a lot of like anger because of that. And I feel like the reason why I was so rebellious and like made horrible decisions was because I was holding on to that anger. But I kind of just reached a point in my life where I accepted it, and I was like, all right, well, you know, it is what it is. And in a way it was a blessing. And now I don't carry that type of anger in my heart. So, yeah.
Wow. What did you do to heal from that?
I think that I really just accepted it. Like I just accepted it. Like, I mean, I did, I think I was about 20. One of my aunts like found her on Facebook. So I did, if I wanted to, I had the opportunity to, you know, connect with her and sit down and have the conversation and like figure out what had happened or whatever. Yeah. Kind of get her side of the story. But, I talked it over with my dad, and I was just like, not in a fucked up way, but I'm an adult. Like, there's really nothing she could do for me at this point. Like, there's what is she gonna do for me? Everything that I needed, my dad provided. So what can you really do for me? If anything, it's just gonna fuck with my head even more. She has her own family. You know, I'm doing fine. So let's just kind of leave it at that, and then just moved on with my life. Yeah.
Wow. And that's so crazy that you even bring that up, because me and my girlfriend were literally having this conversation last night, and I said, for some reason, I just have some type of idea that's gonna come up. And it's just so crazy, because I feel you 100%, where it was like, you know, I'm not gonna say my dad was never there, but, you know, I think there's like, when they're not there for a certain amount of years, you kind of like pride yourself on being able to be like, you know, it was just me and my dad, me and my mom.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's what you said. It's like, dude, we were able to make it through those worst times. Like, we really don't need you anymore. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's definitely a difficult trauma, because, you know, I know for a fact that maybe there is a different way to approach it. Yeah. I haven't gotten there yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's very difficult. I think there's definitely a lot of like healing, you know, everyone needs to do. I need to do for sure. But at the end of the day, it's like I said, it mostly comes from a cycle, and it really, you know, I don't really blame my dad.
Yeah.
At all.
That's another thing too. Like, talking to people that actually knew her personally made me understand her a little bit more, and kind of like, I don't agree with what you did, but I kind of understand, because it seems like she had a really rough childhood as well.
And that is so important that you were able to do that. Like, wow, for real, that you were even able to like go talk to those people, because you can look at it with two approaches. One, you can be very angry about it, like, why'd you do this, and it'll forever fuck with you. Or you can look at it with a forgiving heart and just say, you know what, I understand you, and that's exactly what you did. So when you found out what you found out, like, what conclusion did you come up with?
I kind of just, I mean, it took me a minute. I had to really like sit there and think about everything, because part of me was like, okay, I understand you, and I kind of have like a sense of who you are as a person. But on the other hand, I was like, why, if you had a similar upbringing, why would you want that for your child knowingly? You know what I'm saying? So like the cycle, she allowed the cycle to continue. So it was kind of a little bit of that. It was a little bit of that. But I think what really kind of gives me like that peace is just my dad, and like everything that he was able to provide and instill in me, and everything that we went through together. Like, as soon as I kind of think back to that, I'm like, all right, it's cool. I don't know. I think she did me a favor. I don't think I'd be who I am if she would have been in my life. I probably would be a different person. The fact that it was just me and my dad, and everything that we went through, I feel like really built me up to who I am. So
yes. And you know what? And that's one of the most common factors where obviously you never wish, man, I hope something really bad happens to me.
Right.
But I think that's why, like, I had an idea that something had happened when I said, you know, like, your that monster was created through that adversity. Because I truly believe the same way. And if anyone's listening to this and something happened in your childhood or whatever, use that.
Yeah,
like,
hell yeah.
Use that as motivation. Use that so when shit hits the fan, you look back, you're like, damn, I was able to come across that. Why can't I just get over this hump?
Yeah, hell yeah, exactly. There's a will, there's a way. There's a
will, there's a way for sure. And I always say that it's like, bro, if you like I'm super excited, man. This is all I've been thinking about is man, I don't want to be a little selfish right now, but I'm gonna talk about it. This has been on my mind so much. But this Friday we're actually meeting up. I have a brand called Together Rise, and we have like a big plan. We're playing chess right now. We have a big move, in our hands right now. So I'm super excited. But like you said, like there's a will and there's a way. And the reason why I bring that up is I want to relate to it by you saying that, because let's say that plan right there doesn't go good at all. Guess what? I'm gonna still go fucking find a way. I literally I envision this meeting going like this. Every night I think about it. Like even if the person tells me no, I'm gonna say, bro, you just made the biggest mistake of your life, because I'm gonna go make this shit happen regardless.
I was watching, I don't know how I stumbled across something about Kylie Jenner, right? Okay. On Instagram or something. It was like a clip of like an interview she had done, and she said that the motto in her company is if somebody tells you no, you're asking the wrong person. Wow. And I was like, okay, jeez, I could use that. If they tell you no, you're asking the wrong person.
What does that mean to you?
To me, that means that person doesn't see the value in whatever it is that you're proposing or that you're trying to do, and you're just talking to the wrong person. They don't see it in that moment, and you'll come across another person that's going to be like, okay, I see it. Let's do it.
Wow. I love that.
That's the way I interpret it.
Yes. And I like that, because see, I've been put in so many positions where like whether it's, I tell people to watch the podcast, or before I was in the company where I used to literally, when I tell my boy Lance this was like the worst thing that he could ever like go through his mind, is I used to go to stores like Burlington, Ross, all those stores, and walk up to strangers and be like, hey, would you be interested in a part-time? And if someone did that to me, I'd be like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You're probably trying to scam me. Like that's, or some shit like that. Yeah. But I did that, and my mindset had to be this. I would probably, for every like yes I probably got like 10 no's. But it's like you said, I was just asking the wrong person. My mindset was, I was asking the wrong person, and I'm not going to count the no's. I'm going to count the yeses. Because I guarantee you, I've gotten a lot more no's than I've gotten a lot more no's than people have ever asked in general. Yeah. Because I understood that one simple concept, where it's like, fuck the no's, go to the yeses. If those people are saying no, you're asking the wrong person, go look for that yes. That's it.
Yeah, you just got to be persistent.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. And one conversation I was having, which is like super deep, is like a desperate mind accomplishes whatever it wants, good or bad. If I'm like, that's true. Like my girlfriend was telling me, man, shout out to her, man. I always bring her up because we always talking. Like she's giving me nuggets, I give her nuggets. But I was watching, or she was telling me about this video where there was this guy. He was like trying to break in somebody's house, into his girlfriend's house or whatever. And I don't know whose it was. And he was like, it was to the point where he was so desperate that he was telling her that he was gonna do it and he was not leaving. So that's an intense ass fucking example. Yeah. But that just goes to show, like, when you have a determined mind, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you put that to good, like, or bad, you know what I'm saying? It's the principle. Like, when you're super desperate, it does, nothing else matters. So like you said, where there's a will, there's a way. And I think, and I genuinely like to help people. So if I want to get to that, like, okay, so maybe let's ask you, and then I'll kind of answer it. But when you got desperate about your music career and taking that to the next level, and before you made that call or that meeting to decide to go to Texas and LA, like, what made you be so desperate?
To be real, like my situation and what my dad and I were going through during the hardest point in our timeline. That's really what got me. Like, I was like, there's, to keep it all the way real, like it was to the point where, like, we were getting evicted and all kinds of shit. Seeing my dad stress off of shit like that and evictions and and all that bullshit. I was like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna allow my dad to work until he's like in his 70s to continue to try to pay rent. Like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So that was like the desperateness in me, and like just trying to retire him, like just pay him back for everything, and myself as well, you know, just kind of get out of the struggle.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And like I said, and did you always look at it like that, or was there like a slight moment in the beginning where you're like, damn, I don't know what to do, like I'm so confused?
Oh, hell yeah. There was many points in my life, and sometimes I still have those moments where I'm kind of like, shit. You know, I'm human once again. There's definitely moments in my life now and before where I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do with my life? Like, how am I gonna? I was sleeping on my cousin's couch. I was 17, you know, like working at Taco Bell. Like I was like, dude, what am I going to like do? Like, how am I going to get myself out of this? And now looking back at it, like if somebody would have told 17-year-old me, like, you're going to be doing this, this, and that, and you're going to have this job and you're going to be pursuing this and that. By the time you're 26, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. How? I'm sleeping on this couch right now. How am I going to get there? So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's so dope. Like, in that was the analogy we gave earlier, where it was like at the time, like you said, you knew you were in a situation, you needed to get out. You didn't know exactly what, but you said, what did you say? You were really good at music. You really liked it. Or what did you tell yourself? I was just like, it's either I'm gonna work a 9 to 5 forever and kind of just be like a zombie, you know, same shit, living paycheck to paycheck, or I'm gonna try to do something that's gonna get myself out of this and also like leave an imprint on the world and on other people. Yes. And I think everyone needs to do that, where and maybe you don't know exactly what you want to do, but I think if you watch stuff like this, if you follow K-Rose, because as a person, you know, I've only been following you for so long, but as a person, I could just tell, like, if I keep watching you and the way you move and what you're putting out there, like your music and stuff like that, like it's gonna come to you. So I think it's constantly surrounding yourself with people like that and not surrounding yourself with people who, you know, quote unquote, are losers. Like, and a loser to me is someone who has no ambition and someone, you know, who is just like very like mad at the world and doesn't understand their own feelings and doesn't like care to, you know, get better. That's what I'm trying to say, where it's like, that's a loser to me. It doesn't matter, like you can't be like, if you're at ground zero, but you still have some type of ambition, you're not a loser, because like everyone starts somewhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Don't be that loser who just like sits in bed all day, fucking, you know, eats your life away and all that. Cause I was that loser at one time.
Yeah. Feels bad for yourself.
Exactly that. So if you feel bad, if you fall into that category and you feel bad, I'm calling you a loser right now, then you really got to take a look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? It's like logic compared to emotion. Like that's something I've been struggling a lot with too. And not struggling, but I've really been paying attention to it. Is every little decision I make, I try to look at it in two perspectives: logic or emotion. Logically, does this make the most sense? And emotionally, why am I doing this?
That's like when you're really reaching a different level of maturity, when you can really like get that thought in your mind. That's yeah. And I like that so much that you said that's another level, because that's where I'm chasing. Because a lot of people, they make so many stupid decisions off of just emotions and not thinking logically. Yeah. And I think back as men, like honestly, God, like I'm gonna say it right now, like I've fucking punch holes in walls like when I get mad or something, you know, like shit like that. I haven't done that recently, but like you said, it's like it's being able to say, you know what, I'm gonna take my life to the next level, but I really got to look at it through this microscope. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot of fuck ups. It takes a lot of like, you know, it takes a lot of pain. It takes a lot of all that stuff to get to that point. But if you just strive to get there where you're able to look at a situation logically and not emotionally, I believe a lot of your situations you can avoid. Yeah, I think that's like something that you should consistently work on, you know. Even myself now, there's sometimes I tell my boyfriend, like, I just need to learn how to shut the fuck up sometimes and like, you know, just handle situations differently. But yeah, it's a learning experience.
No, definitely learning experience. And like you said, it's one of those things where it's like throughout your life constantly you're gonna search for, like, you're gonna keep fighting those, because emotions are difficult, man, especially when you're young and people don't know, like people don't tell you how to deal with them. It can get very, very difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, when shit happens, people say stay strong. Yeah. But staying strong just is telling you subconsciously that being weak is bad.
Right. Or to not feel what you're feeling.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But if you're able to like process that, you know, you can get a whole nother outcome. Like for me growing up, you cry, complain, whine, whatever, you're a little girl. That's how I grew up.
Yeah.
But that fucks with you because for one, like that is very very bad because that's not you. And then for two, it allows you to not actually fully process that because in your mind you're like, oh shit, I'm mad, I'm sad, that's bad. But emotions aren't good or bad. It's just the decisions that you make because you have the emotion.
Yeah. That's a really good one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, this is very deep, man. I like to get very deep with these conversations.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Just because, you know what? It's because I'm constantly thriving to get better every single day. Like, that's really what it is. And I'm sure you are too. Like, it's not easy to wake up every single day and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and chase this dream. It's really not. As much as people make it seem on social media, it's really not.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not easy at all. And like to keep up with everything, you know, and like, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, like I'm super grateful you made it today. Because so honestly, I wasn't going to have a recording for tomorrow. And shout out to my boy Alex, because this guy's literally not going to fucking sleep just to edit this shit, man.
Oh, shout out Alex.
Yeah, shout out Alex, man. He's a fucking goat.
Shout out to my boyfriend for the whole runaround.
Hell yeah, shout out to him.
Coming with me.
What was his name again?
Loon. Check him out.
Loon. That's what I was going
to.
Well, what's his rapper or his artist name?
Loon the Youngest.
Loon the Youngest. Okay, check him out for sure, man.
Yeah,
shout out to him. He made it happen. I know, like I said, these guys came all the way from San Jose. I appreciate that so much. And we're trying to get in, like, eventually, I swear to you, once we get the business going financially, I could do it. I'm going to fly people out, man. I'm going to fly people out. Like, I really am. I'm going to say, you know what? Come on my podcast. But go check out, what's your Instagram?
Cassandra with the K _Rose 408. I'm dropping a song tomorrow, also Angel in the Sky, and then the video comes out on Friday. So perfect.
There you go. That's perfect because we'll drop this podcast tomorrow, right when your song drops, and then they'll be able to check out the music video on Friday.
Yep.
Cool. And then before we leave, we'll talk about some stuff for like the video, so we can get the intro, Alex.
Okay.
Right. All right, cool. And we're working on getting Alex a mic, so he's gonna have like a little desk back there. He has the laptop, the mic. So if I ever like need to search anything up or ask him something, because he's Mr. Clutch. So
that's dope.
Yeah, he be coming in with the last 3-point shot, man, to win the game. Yeah, appreciate you so much, K-Rose. I hope you had a good time coming.
Of course, I did. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
For sure, man. We appreciate you. Whatever you need, we got you.
Likewise.
Thank you for coming, Neighborhood Heroes.